LeBron James is he's his own fucking beast. That fucking guy. And it's, a lot of people like him. I wish they knew the real stories about that fucking guy and the LeBron entourage. That's what they call it in the NBA. How he's always traveling with like 13 people. And he's a fucking nightmare for the coaches and the team and all that shit.
I thought that was known.
No, not really like that publicly. Everybody, he's got this image out there that's pretty squeaky clean, but like behind the scenes, he's just a cocksucker.
I thought the way that I knew LeBron James was that he was a cocksucker, piece of shit, a-hole, right? And then he like I think he got humbled somewhere along the line of maybe like it's what I think it was like leaving Cleveland, Miami. It was something in there, and then he kind of switched and turned into like kind of nice guy. Yeah. And we just sort of
because the world hated him. He's one of those guys who's more worried about a brand than like actually staying in one city or fucking contributing. Like I don't know. The shitty thing about it is he does a lot for the community, and he does a lot. He does a lot for charity. Yeah. He does a lot for the community. And I just don't understand why he's like this basketball wise and playing basketball wise. And he got into it with Laura Ingraham from Fox News over the weekend. That was a fun thing. Did you see that?
I did a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch the video she was referring to?
No.
So it was essentially like a kind of like comedians in cars getting coffee, where they're in a car. It was LeBron and Kevin Durant. They were trashing the president. Okay. Being interviewed, and they were in the back seat or whatever. And Laura Ingraham came on and was just like, why don't you just shut up and dribble and stick to basketball, not politics? Like, you barely have a high school education.
Exactly.
And let's, you're not the most prolific expert on politics or policies. And the funny thing I find about LeBron James talking shit about everything is like, why not bother to take a meeting with the president? Like, if you're so concerned about the state of America and the way of the world today and using your platform, which he says he's going to continue to do, why don't you reach out? Talk to the president and sit down with him.
See what you guys can do about things that you're
instead of talking shit.
About. Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why nobody reaches out and says, "Hey, man, I'd like to sit down and talk to you." The president of the United States is going to sit down and talk to LeBron James. I can promise you that.
Do you think Trump would at this point?
Yes, I absolutely 100% think he would.
Okay.
If nothing for the other, let's say their meeting goes horribly. But nothing other than the photo op of like, all right, great. I tried. I sat down and talked to him. Like, they may disagree on things or whatever, but like, I absolutely think like he would. What I don't think, there is no give and take on the other side though. Like,
yeah.
Players won't go to the White House and shit like that, which is stupid. Because if you actually want to change things, go to the White House and voice your concerns and opinions.
Right.
That's the only way to have an open dialogue with somebody that you disagree with. Is the only way things are going to change. So
they think that the way things are going to change is to just boycott everything.
Yeah, and
boycott the U.S. right now.
It's not going to do anything
while living in it. Reaping all the benefits, you're going to boycott.
Exactly.
The U.S.
It doesn't make any sense to me. But his whole gig doesn't make any sense to me. And, he brought it up of somebody, he was talking about race the other day he's like, look, people don't care how much money I have, and it's not about money. And somebody will still spray paint the N-word on your fence, which what happened to him. Mm-hmm. Want to have a refresher on this because we talked about this when it happened. The day that it happened, this was last June, right before the NBA Finals. And I said I thought it was strange that he lived in Brentwood and there's no camera footage, there's no suspects, there's no nothing. That still holds true to this day. We're 8 months later.
Right.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You have not one stitch of footage. You don't have a suspect. You have nothing. Part of me still thinks that's staged. Because I find it impossible. Because you've lived there, and you know what happened to Brentwood after OJ.
Right.
Every single fucking person got surveillance cameras in that neighborhood. I find it unbelievably hard to believe that they don't have anything of whoever did this. And it magically happened the day before the NBA finals. And somebody knew that your sixth house was in Brentwood. Like,
right.
Nobody knows that. I didn't know LeBron James lived there.
I couldn't find his house.
No. So I'm still suspicious over that because it doesn't make any sense. And like, how ethnically diverse LA is. Mm-hmm. If there is a least racist place, like, fuck, nobody tolerates that there. Yeah. No one. It is as far left as you could possibly get there. No one tolerates that, nor you'd be hard pressed to meet a fucking Republican out there, like, true. Or somebody that extremist to go out of their way to spray paint that word on LeBron James's gate. So I don't know, man. It seems very convenient to me, but what's your whole take on that? With Laura Ingraham.
I mean, I think she's right, but it's what I always say about these people that like think because they can do something like act or play basketball,
right,
that they can now talk about politics. Like, you're not a political science. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So it goes along with that, where I was just like, well,
it's the same
to
with
me. Like, I don't know. Like, I know the platform thing, but
yeah.
I know that, I get it, but it just like, it turns these people without even a high school diploma,
right,
talking about things that are like so far beyond them, and people are listening because they have a platform. It's almost dangerous. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, bring in someone to stand next to you and talk. Do you know what I mean? Or like endorse people that whatever. I don't know what the answer is, but to me, that's all it was. And I just sort of like, man, I'm just so desensitized to it now, where it's just like, oh, you have a platform, so you think you have education, and it's not the same thing.
Yeah, and the other part of it is with celebrities as well. Like,
same.
Like Alyssa Milano.
I get pissed. Yeah, I get pissed.
Alyssa Milano, you didn't go to fucking college. Like, why should anyone out there, a normal fucking working Joe, listen to what the fuck you're saying? Like, you're so rich that it doesn't, whatever you're saying it doesn't fucking matter. You're not going to change anybody's life just because you have an opinion on something, like a political opinion on something. Fucking don't listen to Barbara Streisand. Don't listen to Alyssa Milano. Don't listen to Cher talk about fucking politics. Like, they know nothing about it. And it's like, great. Yes, they have a platform and it's freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want. And that's great.
Right.
But when you start placing importance on what celebrities or athletes are saying regarding politics, fuck off. Like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever.